News literacy. Are you faking my news? Our lesson objective is that the students will identify and evaluate ways to avoid fake news in social and academic settings. Why is it important? The ability to tell fake news from accurate news is a lifelong skill. It grows more important as our news comes from online sources that can pop up overnight. In fact, The Telegraph, a 162-year-old newspaper, says fake news is seen as one of the greatest threats to democracy, free debate, and the Western order. Big stuff. That's saying fake news can take down our democracy. Your discussion question today is, you read a viral news post that seems too crazy to be true. Can you spot fake news, or would you be fooled? How do you check if it's true? So I listed some sites to read and reference, and they are as follows. The first one is The Honest Truth About Fake News. This is a great article to read. It discusses how prevalent fake news has become recently, why people create fake news, hint, it's going to involve money, the long history of it, it's older than you think, and how difficult it is for middle school kids to identify the false news on the internet, even if they are called digital natives. Second article is Assessing the Credibility of Online Sources by Philip Webb. This is a guide to help you set a criteria for evaluating online sources. What should you look for to see if a site is legitimate? It's a checklist. It's great for classes when you're doing research. 3, Internet Stories at Snoops.com. This is one of my favorite. If a story sounds a little crazy, if it makes you angry and outraged, if it tugs at your heartstrings, oh, the cute puppies, it's worth double checking. Those are red flags. Snoops will date the story. It might be older than you think. It might be a 10-year-old story that keeps coming up. They're going to share any relevant background information about the article that you read, the false article that you read. And it's going to tell you if it's true, what's true, or what's false about the claim. Sometimes it's just fun to check the front page of their site to see what current events are full of misinformation. Fourth site is scicheck.org to evaluate scientific claims. SciCheck's mission is to identify false and misleading scientific claims that are made by partisans to influence public policy. So some people have a political motive to skew the information. If you want to check on environmental issues, health-related facts that you saw on social media, this is the place to go. If you're worried about vaccines and measles and global warming, scicheck.org is where you're going to go. Number 5, political fact-checking at factcheck.org. As we approach the 2020 presidential election, this site will become more and more relevant. Sometimes it's hard to know what facts to believe or who to trust in politics. Factcheck.org monitors the factual accuracy of what's being said by major U.S. political players. They're a nonpartisan site that wants to help voters reduce the level of deception and confusion in U.S. politics. Now, these are a couple great video and audio clips on fake news evaluation. Number 6, How False News Can Spread by Noah Tavlin. This is a really fun, brief, animated YouTube video that's going to show you how easily fake news can be repeated and then cited as legitimate news source just by accident. It's called circular reporting, and we see a lot more of that these days. Number 7, Learn about evaluating your sources in a handy-dandy CRAP test from CCC Online. This YouTube video also has accompanying notes. The CRAP test is a great tool for you to use in news site evaluation process. It's a helpful tool to use when trying to decide, is this website credible? Is it a valid source? Especially if you're turning it in. Number 8, 5 ways to spot fake news from Common Sense Media. These days, it can be hard to tell what news is legit, what's opinion, what's a full-on fake. These are 5 tips to help you weed out real from the completely made up, and it's a fun YouTube video. Number 9 is an interview with Melissa Zimdars. It was a radio interview, so not a video, where she talks about how to be a savvy news consumer in a misinformation-filled world. It was very interesting how she was attacked just by putting together a list of unreliable sources. Number 10, PBS News. This was a video about a famous BuzzFeed News article called "This Analysis Shows How Viral Fake Election News Stories outperformed the real news on Facebook. It's the story of the 2016 election news. They analyzed the viewing data after the election and found surprising results about the popularity of false news during the campaign. Again, this will be a hot topic as we approach the next presidential election. Now, how are you going to use these skills that you learned from those 10 sites in real life? 1, socially. When you're talking to others in real life or online, if it sounds suspicious, just look it up. We all carry smartphones around with us. A quick search of Snoops or factcheck.org takes no time at all. Don't keep spreading false information. Don't just hit share every time you see a shocking headline or an amazing picture. Be better and know your facts. When watching politics, use those new skills. I want you to be the best informed voter. Don't trust anyone else to tell you what's real or what to believe. Do your own research. When you are researching for school projects or home information, use only the best information. Don't get a bad grade because you cited an unreliable website. If your family needs health information, you now know how to find reliable medical data. I encourage you to be a news skeptic. Be wary of the news you see online. Don't be afraid to check the real facts because even good people repeat false information. And you might just impress your parents while you're at it.